What up, guys? We are back for the final installment of our logo rankings. Top 10. Shannon, the Slapshot Sweethearts logo rankings are almost done. How are we feeling?
They're almost done. We've gotten some heat. I won't lie to you. There's been some controversy. I've looked back at my rankings and I'm a little curious what I was thinking. I know it was a rough work day when I did them, so
Everyone was struggling a little bit. I think there's a little more controversy to come. So let's jump into that.
At number 10. Do you remember who you have, Meg?
No.
Let's see. Oh!
Our other matchup!
Who is to say? You know what? This is a well-done logo.
I think it's great.
It's well done. A little known fact about me was a band nerd in high school. So I have always had a soft spot for the logos and team that are surrounded by music or, themed around music. And the Blues logo, incredible. Like it more than the Jazz, for sure, in Utah. And I think that this is really well done because of the subtle white around the edges, the yellow as well. It's simple, but it's sleek. And it gives them 3 colors to work with, just enough. And it's versatile.
I'm here for it. I also did music for like my whole life. I'm actually, fun fact, a certified songwriter. I have songwriting credits on Spotify.
It's fun. I didn't know that.
Fun fact, that is what happens when you move to LA for a little bit. You just happen to do things like that. But yeah, I like this. I like the blue and the yellow. Like, I feel like these isn't like the wrong yellow. Like the Penguins and the Bruins use the wrong yellow.
I don't think it's the wrong yellow because I do think it's the same yellow. I think this is enough yellow.
Well, then maybe this is just the right amount of the yellow.
I think this is.
But I'm here for it. I like this. No problems.
Number 9. We're getting a bit controversial here.
Winnipeg Jets.
Well,
I like it. I like the jet. I like the leaf. I like the circle. I like the colors. I like the shading on the leaf colors. I like it.
I was today years old when I figured out that the red behind there was a leaf, but it only really adds to the fun.
It makes me feel better about all the today years old revelations I've had during this.
I think it just really adds depth to this logo. And the only thing I wish that they would improve is there's so much depth in the middle of it, but none around the outside. And so I
think it'd be too busy if they did something on the outside.
Would it be? There is so much detail in some of the other logos higher up. I don't know. We'll see. I have the Devils at number 9, and you had them at like 20 something.
And I don't think I fully understood what was happening in this logo until I put it there.
If you haven't watched our basement rankings, I highly recommend you check those out. But Megan was not aware that this was an N with devil horns, a tail, and even like a subtle J in the second half of the N. Megan, would you like to explain your lifetime view of the New Jersey Devils logo?
This was when I was younger. I thought it was like
an hour ago.
No. I understood the fact. Well, yeah, maybe, but I didn't understand the whole forming of the devil with it. Like I totally for a while thought it was like a wrench because I've never looked at it that close. And don't tell me that top of that doesn't look like a wrench.
It does. It's a poorly shaped devil horn, and it's something that I do intend to bring up with the New Jersey Devil.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation. We'll blast him in here, even though I love you, New Jersey Devil.
The only other thing that I'll add is that there's not a lot of depth in this logo. The reason I rank it so high is because it is well thought out in terms of the design and the subtle detail. But I wish that they would update it to add more depth, like there are other logos up here in our top 10. Number 8. Yes. Well,
I got the Sharks. I like this shark. I think that's so cool looking. And I like that he's biting the hockey stick. And that's a well done hockey stick. The Penguins could learn from here. Like the tape on this stick as well. The shadows of it is great. I like the detailing on the shark. I think this is a good logo.
That you had me at the Penguins could learn from this. The Penguins could learn from doing an animal logo well right here. All you need to see. I have Dallas. I there's kind of a lot of controversy around Dallas's logo. A lot of people think that it's really boring, but I really like it. I think
we haven't even got to it in my list. I think it's great.
I really like it. I think it does a simple name really well. It's exactly what you need to do in terms of like, I don't want to see just a dumb star on it. They made it detailed. They made me forget the fact that it's just a star. You see the D, you see where they're from. You remember that it's Texas, and you see it looks like the silver part looks like Texas. It really makes me think of their home without being like in your face about it, and I really appreciate that. I wonder where you have
what?
Like the silver part behind the D fills in the star. Looks like a Texas. Like,
no, I don't see it.
Well, that's what
But that's fine.
Passionate about that argument. You have them higher anyway. You have
Dallas Stars. I like the dimension of this. I think it's cool. I also really like their shade of green. And I think their branding as a whole is great. But I really like this logo because it's nice and clean and simple, but also has depth.
Yes. The Minnesota Wild could learn from the Stars on how to execute green well and not too much.
God, those are so different of logos. You cannot even compare them.
No, I can't. I have the Winnipeg Jets here. I am like a transportation nerd and not my sports job and work in transportation. So I was already going to have a soft spot here. I am today years old learning that is a flag, a leaf back there, adding depth and, the homebody side of being from Canada. I really like that. Like I said, with Meg's ranking, I wish they did more with the outside. I think that Dallas is a perfect example. They did it well. They didn't add too much. And I think what's bothering me about the Jets logo is that the blue circle is so thick. So thick.
What if they just made, I think it's that thick because it adds to the point of like the jet is why it goes up, and it's like proportioned, like the amount it goes up to the jet.
I'm going to have to think about it more. I would like to hear from some Jets fans as well.
Yeah. If you're out there, shoot us a tweet.
Please do. Number 6. Now
I have the LA Kings. I ripped apart your hate earlier. You got LA, you got the Kings. I think this is nice and sleek. And as I'm currently in my room in LA, I am a fan.
The Kings at best deserve our middle tier rankings. They do not deserve top 10, almost top 5. Like, are you kidding me?
I will maybe make them number 10 and move everyone else up. Maybe. Maybe. No lower.
There's no way they deserve to be this high. They add so much.
Gray is my vibe.
The colors are fun. That doesn't mean the execution of the logo was good.
I'm fine with it.
You can put this one right next to the Oilers logo, and they're pretty comparable. You had the Oilers at like 15.
No.
No. No to what?
No. Stop moving my logos.
Fine.
You got some opinions that I don't agree with, so.
You can be wrong. I have the Sharks at number 6. The Shark is really cool. This has always been a really well done logo. The same with the Ducks. Over there in California, they do, besides the Kings, do logos very well. Except I wish
the Ducks. We had the Ducks so low. How is that considered well?
Because of the Mighty Ducks logo.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Okay. You can continue.
Now they
interrupted
my momentum. The only thing that I'll say about the San Jose logo is that, like some of the others, it hasn't really been updated in a while. And a lot of the flack that they got for their reverse retro jersey was that they used this logo. They didn't do anything with it. And so even though it is a really cool logo, it's getting to be a bit overused. So that is going to be a concern moving forward if they don't consider even like a subtle update to it.
Yeah.
Number 5. I have the Predators. I think that this is one of the best in the league. It's one of the best in professional sports, in my opinion. I am kind of surprised I had it at 5. I'm surprised I didn't have it higher. I think that these colors are fantastic. The detail in the face of the Predator is amazing. They didn't need to add any more depth. It looks good on their branding. It looks good on their jersey. It just is really well done. I think it's the perfect amount of detail without being distracting. How about you?
I think they're ranked utterly too high there at number 5. But I'm just saying.
You couldn't give me a better reason on what you'd improve on it, though, when I asked you.
It just doesn't do it for me.
I mean, that's fine. It doesn't.
I don't even have a fair reason. It's just not. It's not pleasing to me.
Okay.
As much. It's fine. I'm fine with it. But anyway, I have the Colorado Avalanche. I like this. I love the colors. I think the design is fine. Like, it's nice, and like the waves are where they need to be. Like the curves, the edges are where they need to be. I like that
What
it's
is
not
that? A wave?
like the waves.
The avalanche?
I meant like the curves, like that's like the wavy, like not a wavy, not like a whoosh wave, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The avalanche that's happening with curves and avalanche snowfall.
It's technically not even an avalanche because it's a
really
puck.
not.
It's a puck.
That like the puck is like leaving like a trail of like snow.
But it makes you think, doesn't it? That's what
Yeah, it makes me want to think.
it makes you think in a good way. There are some logos that make us think in a bad way.
Yeah, I like the coloring of this a lot too, which helps.
Completely agree. I have them higher.
You're gonna hate me for this one.
What on earth are the Sabres doing in your?
I really like the buffalo, and I like the Sabres.
Oh my god!
I think it's cool.
911.
I think it's cool.
Oh my heavens! What about this is cool?
The Sabres.
What detail is that?
Swords, dude.
I need more dimension that she says about the perfect predator, but then she has the saber.
Did I say that about the Predator? I don't remember. But no, I think there's certain logos that need to have more going on to like be exciting. But I think like there's certain logos that are totally fine just being simple and basic. And I think this is one of them.
It's not it.
You're not it.
It's just not it at all. What is it is the Columbus Blue Jackets logo. And yes, Alex from Cannons and Tomahawks podcast, I am giving the Blue Jackets, my toilet team, a compliment. Their logo is great. I was a little
because I haven't even gotten there yet.
I was a little confused. You know, the Blue Jackets have always had some questionable branding. They have a really great premise of a team, but they haven't executed it that well. And not that I think this is like A1 execution on their part, but this logo is beautiful. And their reverse retro logo is beautiful. And I think this has really great depth, the same way that the Stars does. Maybe Stars are just like the go-to for logos. Not that I'm telling every team to go add a star because I will get incredibly sick of them. But I think this does a very good job using red, white, and blue, which is a very overdone color scheme in sports, and not making it look stupid like the Capitals do, like the Wizards do, like the Patriots do, like so many other teams.
Smart. Good call. The Giants.
The Giants too. Number 3. Top 3 now.
I don't understand how the Flyers are up here, but fine. Okay. You can get to that in a minute, but I will be Alex's favorite. I have Columbus at my number 3. I think this is a really cool logo. I don't fully know what's happening in there, but I'm here for it. It's like shooting star-ish, you know? It's like shooting star adjacent.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into what's happening on the end of this. I have to assume it has something to do with
it's like
the history of the Blue Jacket and like the uniform.
Yeah. See, I really like the star, especially because it's like, remember in like when you're like bored in high school or something, you would like doodle and shit, or maybe that was just me because I like didn't do high school well. I would always draw that star with like the half color in each end, and I just always liked that design, and I think they did it really well here.
Yeah, and I think the other cool thing to note about the Blue Jackets logo, and then I will shut up about Columbus because I don't want to inflate their heads too much, is that
we like to tear them down.
The logo here is not necessarily even. So like the star isn't even, the lines aren't completely straight. And I think that's really both modern and like nice and pleasing to the eye. Whereas I didn't really notice when I made this slide, but looking at it next to the Flyers logo makes the Flyers logo look like shit, even though I really like the Flyers logo. But like when you compare, that's when, even though the Flyers aren't an original 16, when we're talking about all those older logos, even the Sabres logo, when you put those older logos that like don't want to change next to these newer logos like the Blue Jackets and the Stars and the Predators, and you're like, wow, half the team or half the NHL is in like really modern stages of their branding, and then others are like in the 80s, like literally still stuck in the 80s.
Yep.
So I do have the Flyers at number 3, and I really like the premise. I do think now that I'm looking at it next to the Blue Jackets logo, it should go a little bit lower because it needs more depth. And I do think that they don't really need to change this logo that much to add depth. There's like a lot of potential here, and I just don't know how. I'm not an expert in graphic design by any means. So I would like to see how people would try to modernize that. I think that there's really a lot of potential here, and I think I would still keep it in my top 10 only because there's a lot that they can do, and the logo baseline itself is really good.
I stand by that. I had them at number 20.
I don't know, man. I like it. I also just really like
I also just don't like orange.
I was about to say, I really like orange.
It looks so bad in orange, where it's like the Islanders and stuff, it's not their primary color. You know, like that blue is their primary, but like orange here is a primary color.
And I think that's why I like the logo, is because it looks stupid here on our colors, which are teal and black and white. But if you put it on a bright orange Flyers jersey, it looks really good.
It's too much orange for me.
Well, let's do your
number 2.
I just want to preface that Megan said before we started recording that none of her top teams were in the top, or none of either of our teams were in the top, and that said a lot about our character. And then this snake puts Vegas number 2.
You had Philly as your number 3. You
I don't like
them the same Philly. I do with Vegas.
I don't like Philly. I just have a jersey in my home.
I think you're a faker. I just like all of what Vegas has done. I think this logo doesn't do it justice for how the logo is, especially on the jersey. They have detailing in the black. They have some more detailing in like the mask, like right above where the eyes would be. Like, it's really well done in that sense. I just think this image doesn't do it justice. And I think all of the branding and all of the imagery that is used by the Vegas Golden Knights is just supreme.
I would have ranked them higher if I were considering the rest of the jersey design. When I was talking about how logos looked on jerseys, I was purely considering how the logo looks, and when you literally slap it on the color, how that looks. So like for Vegas,
I'd put that on a black shirt.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking of. Not necessarily that Vegas does have dual colors on their sleeves, which makes this pop more, things like that. I don't know. Yeah. I am Seattle. I think it is, you cannot ignore how awesome their branding is and how cool this logo is. And this is exactly what I want to see in modernized branding from the rest of the league. And I think that these two teams, although I am not wowed by Vegas's logo, it's a step in the right direction in terms of what we should be looking for, especially when you consider how the NBA is really modernizing their branding and their jersey game and things like that. Looking at these two, there is so much potential. There's so much hope. So much hope.
This is what the NHL needs to strive for, these two right here. Which is why at number 1,
drum roll, please,
I have the Seattle Kraken. Can't wait to get my hat from a friend who lost a bet to me. Bring it on, Alex. Send it to me with whatever BS t-shirt you have that I'm going to have to wear eventually. Fine. But I think Seattle's doing it right. I love their colors. I think they're not overused in sports. I like the little thing of red. I like the font of this S. I think this is great. I cannot wait to see what this team continues to do.
You made a really great point that these colors are not overused. And you can say the same thing about the Avalanche, which is one of the reasons that I have it ranked so high. There is absolutely no reason that this many teams need to, I'm going to keep harping on this, that this many teams need to use red, white, and blue in some sort of capacity. This is a nice way to use blue. There are so many colors, literal colors in the rainbow that you don't need.
There's a literal rainbow of colors. Like
the literal rainbow, the literal gradient rainbow. You can pick any This is still technically, the Avalanche is still technically red, white, and blue, but does it look like red, white, and blue? No, it looks amazing. And the same can be said for the Kraken, who are still using red and blue in entirely different premises. When I say red, white, and blue, you didn't think of either of those teams, and I think that's a really good thing. When you look at other teams, they're using literally, when you pick the 12-pack of crayons, we're going to keep going back to crayons here. When you pick the 12-pack of crayons and you pick the red out, it's what, like Scarlet Red, I think it's called, or something. That's what half the teams are using. Pick the maroon. Pick the fancy one that you wanted out of that 100-color crayon box and use it for your branding and make yourself stick out. Make yourself look different. Make people want to like you just because of your colors. How many people pick their team because they like the player? Some, but how many people pick their team because they like the colors? A lot. That's my spiel. I have the
Really?
Yeah.
What a controversial opinion.
How many bandwagon fans
based on the colors?
Yes. How many kids pick their favorite team based off of the colors of the jerseys? A ton. So many.
See, I've been in a moment in my life, other than hockey and college football, where I guess whatever, that I don't really know what teams I'm rooting for like the NFL. I've never really been a basketball person, but I want to be it. So I got a Lakers t-shirt when I was here. And then I don't really, baseball is like a social thing for me, but like, which is why I chose the Mets, because it's accessible and has great alcohol. But when I in myself have been thinking of what NFL team am I going to follow? Like, where do I want to put my eggs? Into what basket? Never was I like, what colors would I look best?
No part of you said, oh, which jersey do I like?
No. That was not even a thought for me.
There are so
I was told to just wait till I find someone to marry and they can tell me who they like, which is fine.
So I'm willing to argue the top, obviously, where you're located is probably the most significant one of how people choose their teams.
Yeah.
Then
not for me.
Who their friends like, who their friends or family like, because they'll jump on, friends, family, significant, whoever their peers like, they'll jump on that bandwagon. Then I think the next one, unless they have a significant amount of sports knowledge, which then they probably already have a favorite team just by understanding the sport, they go to the logos and the branding and the colors. When I was little and I was like, oh, it would be so cool to not be a Patriots fan, because stupid ass me when I was like 8 thought that the San Diego Chargers branding was so cool. And I was like, I want to be a Chargers fan. That lasted for like a month. But you get my point.
I had that earlier this year, actually, that moment of wanting. I was like, Chargers, Rams. I don't know.
Exactly. So how do you choose? Well, the Rams crap is so ugly. So, and the Chargers
do have great merch.
Exactly. See, understand my premise. It's not exactly.
But I wasn't picking based on that. I was like, okay, let's see how they both do in LA this season in SoFi.
Yeah, but you have more of a sports understanding than the average person.
True.
And like, you think like a 10-year-old, when they're looking around and they see their parents at a Super Bowl party and they're like, oh, which one of these two teams on the screen am I going to pick? The one with the color jersey I like better.
No, you're going to be like, Mom, Dad, which one do I want?
No.
I think, we should pull this. I think teams that you root for is so heavily hereditary.
Oh, of course.
Like, that is in your genetics.
Yeah, but the
Penguins fandom is inside of me.
Yeah, hereditary. So family and peers is number 1. Location is number 2. And colors and jerseys and branding is number 3. I'm 100%.
Okay, great. We'll pull it.
All right. My last note here, I didn't even explain why I had the Avalanche number 1, beyond the fact that I really like this logo is just really well done. Their branding is really well done. And I really stand by the fact that I think your logo, your jersey, and your colors have much more of an impact on why people lean toward your team and your fandom than people think. I know that, especially like my boyfriend really has no affiliation with the Coyotes, but he really likes their jerseys and really wants one. And when he hears about the Coyotes, he's like, oh yeah, go Yotes. I feel comparably about the Avalanche. The Avalanche are also incredible.
I just like saying Yotes.
Well, yes, but their jerseys and their branding and their marketing really make me want to like them. Whereas the freaking Red Wings give me nothing to like and nothing to want. Like, you know, it just really, it makes you, they draw you in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, we have reached the end. Number 1s for us, Avalanche, Kraken. What do you think? Tell us your number one. Tell us if we're way off base. I don't think we are. But hit us up on Twitter, SSweetheartsPod, Instagram, /Sweethearts. We want to hear everything you have to say. Till next time, I'm Megan. That's Shannon. This is our latest rankings.